I had to watch Bridgerton. The pilot for Bridgerton, the Netflix show from Shondaland. I was paid to review the pilot, and this was a cruel request. There was nothing nice about this request because it was made knowing that I was going to hate it. It was made knowing that it didn't appeal to me. It was made knowing that I hate period piece costume dramas. And yet here we are. I'm going to have to talk about it. I'm going to have to sit here and tell you what Bridgerton's about. Talk about the characters. Talk about the production style, the dresses, all that crap. Oh my goodness sake! I'm not qualified for this. What is Bridgerton? Bridgerton is a show that's set in kind of a fictionalized version of posh Victorian era England. It's mating season or something, and all of the young women in the land who are all from seemingly fairly rich families are all, they go to all these events hoping to pick up a suitor, that one of the young men will take their hand in marriage, and so much of it is their mothers selling them off like prostitutes, where they're making them look pretty and they're trying to find them a husband, and they don't have a say in any of it. Obviously there's a lot of humor in this. It's got a sense of humor. There's a sort of narrator who is also kind of an in-universe character, writing like the gossip column that gets released every week or something like that, and the characters do react to this gossip and kind of the update of the competition, as it were. But it's a series of social events and the in-between of those social events where it's all about the potential marriages that are going to happen. Bridgerton is one of the main families. I actually thought Bridgerton was going to be the name of the town before I watched it. I mean, who knew? It's not. I think Daphne Bridgerton is like the main character, and she. All right, so spoilers for the episode. Just spoilers. I don't care about not spoiling this. So first thing, the episode starts with an old school joke of the corset being too tight, and I think the second family we follow is the Feather Bottoms, I think. What's their name? Featherington. Oh, I fucking hate this show. Featherington is the second family, and there's like three sisters, and the bitchy mother who's like demanding they tighten their corset. One of the three sisters is a bit chubbier, and she doesn't really want to be involved in all this crap. But the opening episode is that, but it's them all going to, and then also Daphne Bridgerton, they're all going to see the Queen, because for some reason, I don't know how true this is, how much based on reality this is, but for some reason, in this society, the young men who are looking for brides, they take the Queen's opinion about who the hottest chick is seriously. It matters to them that the Queen thinks that's a hot bit of totty before they swoop in and propose. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It's a big deal though, apparently, when she says Daphne's pretty or like the bomb or something, whatever she says to her. Everyone's like, oh, the Queen gave her the appraisal. Like everyone's saying she's the hot one now. Oh, and so. And then we're introduced to our sort of male lead of the show, who is Lord of Hastings or something. Duke of Hastings. He comes in, he doesn't want a wife. So right away, the romance here is simple. We've got a main lady character who's looking for a suitor, and we have a male character now who doesn't want a wife and is determined not to have one. Would you believe it that these two are going to cross paths, and they're probably going to be perfect for each other, and that's probably what the show is going to be about. All I could think for the duration of this full hour long episode, it was a full hour. I really want to emphasize that this was a full hour long. The only thing I was thinking from about the 7-minute mark, maybe, because I wasn't having fun before that, but from about the 7-minute mark onwards, all I was thinking was, can we nuke the town? Can we nuke it? See a mushroom cloud and just say the end, because that would be delightful. Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Yeah, okay, so what happens? I mean, we have a series of events. The other main character, I suppose, is Daphne Bridgerton's bigger brother, who's the man of the house now because the dad's dead. Lucky him. He is having an affair, or not even an affair because he's not with anyone, but he's having like a sexual relationship with this actress / singer. but it's like an illicit thing because she's not of high social standings or something. I don't know. For some reason it's frowned upon and he has to break up with her by the end of the episode. I don't know what's going on there, but he is determined to not have his sister marry anyone. He's like, he comes along, and the whole idea is that he's there to protect her from the unsavory suitors, but instead he kind of just like makes up an excuse as to why every single man that talks to her is bad. And then this kind of affects her reputation because she hasn't talked to anyone or progressed with anyone. So the next gossip column from Whistleblower Lady is that she now only has one suitor, and it's this really awkward guy who she doesn't like, and he comes over to see her and everyone else is scared off. So her standings from being the queen bee that everyone's jealous of and everyone is mad at because now she's the most desired, now she's at the bottom of the pile and no one seems to want to go near her because the brother and his attitude has scared everyone else off. Turns out the brother also knows Duke of Hastings. They're old friends, so you can see again the drama, the hijinks that'll happen when Duke of Hastings is going to be into his sister, which is not actually what happens by the end of the episode. By the end of the episode, like, they have interactions with each other. There's clearly some chemistry. They end up, the mother's trying to kind of set them up a little bit. It is sort of try, manipulate it into happening. And they sit at the dinner table and they start like sort of like verbally sparring a little bit, and it's kind of showing you that they're each other's match. And it's like, so from a writing perspective, like, I get what it's doing. It's ticking the boxes, it's doing the thing. I just don't care. I don't like any of this. It's painfully boring to me. Like, all the shots, like the first couple of shots of the show are so bright, and it's just like the town, this English woman's narration comes in and it's super hoity-toity, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate it. Then there's the final event of the episode with all the fireworks. The awkward guy she doesn't like tries to come on to her again, and apparently the brothers sort of made a deal with them, like, we'll just accept him because I have to accept that my sister's going to marry someone, because their mother like gave him a row. She threw a man up son speech at him earlier in the episode. This is him trying to be mature and try to set her up for an actual marriage, but she doesn't actually want the marriage with this guy because she hates his guts. And every single scene, it is the classic thing where there's a shot of her in the foreground and the guy she doesn't want is behind her on the couch, sort of patting the couch to say, come here dear. Anyway, it results in this thing where it looks like he's about to be forceful when they're off on their own. Duke of Hastings hears it, he runs in and he's gonna intervene, but the joke is that she actually knocks him out first with a punch. And so it's kind of got this witty kind of like, it inserts little modern things here or there. The narrator at one point uses the word bitches or something like that. He has this idea that, hey, I'm sick of all these women wanting me. This gossip column's got every single woman chasing after me, or more importantly, every single mother of every young woman chasing after me to be the guy who goes after the daughter. So he comes up with a plan. Let's fake a romance. We'll pretend to be into each other, and as a result, I will be off the market, and because you're with the Duke, your stock will go up, and all the guys will want you. So the end of the episode is them dancing with fireworks behind them, and blah 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 blah. This is a 10-episode season, and I think there's a second 8-episode season, and the thought of sitting through them like slowly realizing they do have feelings for each other, and the awkwardness of like not accepting that at first and then eventually accepting it and then having the happy ending. I mean, I don't know, it's got more seasons coming, so maybe they've not even got that far yet. I don't know. That sounds excruciating to me, quite frankly. There's no doubt an audience for this. I'm sure there's an audience who find it a little witty, perhaps. For me, the big thing about these types of dramas that really don't work for me, to try and actually have a little bit of proper like critique or analysis here, or at least some personal perspective, is I often find that the dialogue kind of infuriating. I don't tend to like a lot of the characters in these things. I don't like these hoity-toity types. Featherington, obviously the mother of Featherington is not meant to be a nice likable character because she's like jealous of the cousin. I'll talk about that plot in a minute, but I don't like anyone. I dislike pretty much everyone in this show. I don't like any of the system, and I get that the show is critiquing a lot of what this is doing, the sexism that's inherent to all this system, the pressures put upon the young women, and even the men in some cases, of like all the social expectations they're expected to follow. But I hate doing it so much, and I don't care about the fancy dresses. I don't care about the sets and the locations, because it's just a bunch of, it's I assume this is what like Pride and Prejudice has got a lot of in it, and other period things that I have avoided as much as I can, because the small glimpses I've had of period dramas like this, and just about anything that Keira Knightley's ever starred in, I have been painfully bored by. I felt that here. Would you believe it? I did not enjoy this. I did not have a good time. I don't care about the romance between Sophie, Bridgerton, and the Duke of Hastings. You've got one of her brothers, not the main brother, but one of her brothers is kind of going to seemingly going to end up in a thing with the chubby sister from the other family, the Featheringtons, because her other sisters are kind of like mean to her and awful and spilling drinks on her and whatever else. Yeah. The other main thing in the show is that the Featheringtons, they've got a cousin that's coming to stay, and the Lord of the House has asked Mrs. Featherington to also take care of her this mating season, where she and it sets up the joke quite obviously, where they're all saying, oh, she's grew up on a farm, she's probably an ugly little thing, oh, we'll do it for charity's sake. And of course you can see it coming. She walks in and she's a very pretty woman, and everyone's like, oh no, she's prettier than all of us, oh no. And sure enough, she gets all this attention at the next social gathering. Everyone's wanting to speak to her, and it makes Mrs. Featherington so jealous. She's like, oh, you little bitch, I hate you so much. My daughters are being ignored because of you. And she takes it all out on her, and there's a lot of potential in that plotline for it to get very, very nasty, and it does get a little nasty by the end of the episode, where she accuses her of being pregnant because she's not had a period, seemingly, in the month that she's been there. I had no idea this episode took a month, or span a month. I had no idea. I was shocked when she said that. It felt like there was an event every 2 days. There's lots of weird little things in this, which I'm sure are partly for amusement's sake, but this idea of going to get the Queen's approval before all the men like try and like pick a wife is like really weird to me. Like, I'm just, oh yes, this old crotchety woman said this woman is attractive, therefore I will agree with her. I can't see who I find attractive myself. I will listen to this old bat and pick that way. There's a lot of characters. I was finding it hard to keep track of who a lot of the siblings were. Obviously, the main characters are easy enough to follow, but like I think Sophie has like 2 other brothers on top of the main one, who's kind of like a main prominent character, and she has like 2 sisters at least. There's one that was a bit more memorable because she had a few more witty lines of dialogue, but I was having a hard time keeping track of who they all were. Sometimes it was almost easy to like swap a couple of the sisters from the other family around and like not be sure which one, like which family I was looking at times. Obviously, it's going for this witty version of the type of period drama it is, because when they introduced the older brother, who's protective of Sophie, or it's not Sophie, Daphne. Did I say Sophie earlier? I meant Daphne. It's Daphne Bridgerton, like Daphne Moon from Frasier, also English woman. That's how Niles fell for her. The Queen said, Daphne, you're a sexy one, you are. And then Niles was like, well, if the Queen said it's true, I must go after Daphne. Yeah, we introduce him because he's late for the first thing with the Queen, and then it cuts to him just having sex with his mistress up against a tree. And, it's maybe funny and quirky, and so we are a raunchy period drama. This was painful for me on a personal level, and I'm not saying it's like completely terribly produced, because I think it's going for something, and that something doesn't appeal to me. That's okay, but I was made to watch this, and it was a painful hour of TV. There was multiple times where I looked at how far in I was and went, that can't be right. This can't only be 15 minutes. I thought I was like 2/3 in. I get it. I get that it is satirical. I get that it's breaking down conventions and it's poking fun at them. And the whole point is that our main characters are the ones who don't like the system, and that's why we're supposed to root for them over everyone else. I just hate being in this environment. I hate being around these characters, and I hate having to go through the process of people breaking out of it. There's just nothing fun to me about this. As soon as the narrator started talking at the start, I was just miserable. I just like, oh god, I hate this. I hate what this is. I hate this genre. I want no part of it. I have nothing left particularly constructive to say. So yeah, Bridgerton sucked. Thanks for watching. Bye.